Happy Monday, everybody. We have a much smaller slate today. We've got a 7 game slate. Let's go ahead and kind of get back on a recap, back on our normal schedule after a long holiday weekend. It was a beautiful Sunday. It was absolutely beautiful. Straight bets, we hit 3 out of 4. The only one we missed was the Angels. Money line couldn't get it done against the Cubbies. Thought they might make a comeback there in the ninth, but they didn't. We hit all of our parlays, which was fantastic, and we hit our fun parlay. So awesome, solid day there. 5.2 units on the straights and the parlays. Add the fun parlay, and about 7.5 units. So really fantastic day. Personally, had a really good day. About a little over 17 units up. So wonderful day. Props went fantastic. Kirby couldn't bring home the 7-0 sweep for us, so we went 6-1 there. But yeah, super happy. Anytime we can get the first 7 games right, the Dodgers were a huge letdown. I just can't believe they couldn't bang Dallas Keuchel all around. So had that hit, we would have hit our first 9 games, which would have been absolutely fantastic. So probably would have been about 4 or 5 more units for me personally had the Dodgers won. So absolute awesome day. Upsets weren't too bad, right? We had the Reds actually won. I got the Reds right 2 days in a row. I don't actually. I had the Tigers first 5, so let's not get crazy, but we've hit the Reds 2 days in a row. We're going for 3. You can bet they're of course they're playing today, so we're on them. Let's jump right into the games. First game, we got Mets Pirates. Interesting game yesterday. The Mets gave up 2 runs in the latter half of the game. I want to say the eighth, like bottom of the eighth, and then they turned around the ninth and ended up getting to Aroldis Chapman. Got the lead. Absolutely beautiful. That was a hell of a game right there. Francisco Lindor came up with a clutch 2-out hit with bases loaded to put him up by 1. So we've got the final match of the series. We've got Christian Scott going up against Mitch Keller. Christian Scott was brought back up for Tyler Meatball McGill. So this will be his, I believe, second start in his return. So last start versus the Nats wasn't amazing. He went 5.2 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned, 2 Ks. He's got a 4.96 away ERA. But if we look at his splits, he struggles against left-handed hitters, 285 average. I wouldn't say struggle. It's not horrendous, but that's his weaker side as compared to a right-hander's 164. This split works out really well for him, right? Struggles against lefties. He's only going to face 3 in the Pittsburgh lineup. Does very well against righties. He gets 6 today. So I do have a little concerns just because the lefties that are in there can hit the ball quite far, and we have the wind blowing out to right field. So it's a bit of an advantage for those folks. But I think the one thing Scott has working for him is he has a lot of run on his fastball. So it's going to run away from those left-handed hitters. So we're hoping they don't kind of square it up. But I really like Mets in this situation. Conversely, Keller really struggled in his last home start against the Cardinals. 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 Ks. So opposite for him, he really struggles against righties actually. 308 average, and the Mets have 6 righties in the lineup. And a lot of those righties can go yard. So I think everything kind of points towards the Mets here. We'll just have to see what kind of start Keller has. I didn't put this in here, but I like the Nerfy again. I think that's hit every game. So really like the Nerfy in that situation. The Mets just need to kind of step it back up with the sticks. They went from the hottest hitting team in baseball to very, very cold. We can see they are one of the worst in baseball over the past week. So we need a bounce back day here. Pirates have been hitting, so that's a little scary, but I think Scott gets the job done for us today. So like the Mets there. Next game, Cards Nats. Nats have been hitting, but so have the Cardinals over the past 2 weeks. Both teams are hitting pretty nicely. We've got Miles Mikolas going up against Mitchell Parker. To me, this is a fade of Mikolas. He's kind of starting to return back to kind of who we thought he was after 3 or 4 just exceptional starts. He's had a couple of bad starts in a row here. So I think it's a good bounce back day. Mikolas significantly weaker against left-handed hitters. Nats are projected to have 5 in the lineup. Parker, decent against righties. Cardinals are going to have 6 righties in the lineup. So if we look at Parker's home ERA, significantly better. He's got a 3.11 home ERA. Mikolas, 4.42 away ERA. I think this says Mets, but this should be the Cardinals. So he went 6 innings, 5 hits, 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, no. Parker's last outing versus the Mets was rough. That's what it was. So I think he bounces back today. I think the Nats should pull this out. I like the over. This has been a pretty high scoring series. So if you're not interested in picking a team, I would definitely lean towards that over 9, especially with the wind blowing out today. So, but I like the Nats to get the job done today. All right, next game we've got Cleveland and the Tigers. 2 rookies going up against each other here. Gavin Williams, Keter Montero. We backed the Twins against Keter Montero in his last outing. He looked phenomenal. I'll be honest. He was lights out. But if we look at his advanced metrics, him and Gavin Williams are very similar. Both have expected ERAs in the 5s. Williams conversely had a absolute horrendous last outing. He got knocked around quite hard. I think his hard hit percentage last game was like 56%, which is ridiculously high. But he's going up against a little cooler offense. I just don't like the Tigers in this situation. Although it's good value at plus money if you like them. But I do think Cleveland hits around Montero. I think that last outing against the Twins, if you look at the advanced metrics, they hit him hard. They didn't have anything to show for it, but they did barrel him up quite often. It just didn't produce runs. It's one of those days. Both pitchers are very heavily towards the fly ball. We're gonna have the wind blowing in today in Detroit, so I don't know if they get to this over. I mean, it's kind of a safe bet, I guess, with both of these pitchers, but I like Cleveland to get to Keter Montero. A little sketchy of a game, though. Don't have a ton of confidence in it, but I do like Cleveland right now. All right, next game, Ryan Feltner, Andrew Abbott, Rockies and Reds. The Royals finally hit yesterday. Got a 10-1 win behind Brady Singer making his first start at Coors Field. So today we've got Andrew Abbott. Love Andrew Abbott. He's an awesome pitcher. Last start, I believe, was against the Yankees. He just shut them down completely. Love the Reds today. We got to fade Feltner. I mean, the guy's 1-7 on the year, 5.6 ERA. Expected ERA is 4.14. Obviously, a guy pitches in Coors Field, so his away splits are significantly better, which makes sense. Interesting though, if we look at his FIP and XFIP, they're actually better than Andrew Abbott's. FIP is 97, expected FIP 100, so a little bit of regression on both of them. But yeah, I love the Reds to get the job done today against Feltner. This is just a complete fade against Feltner. I know the Reds necessarily haven't been crushing the ball, but I love the splits today, and I think it favors the Reds quite heavily. I like their money line. I like their first 5. I think Rockies team total under 3.5 is very viable at plus money. There's awesome value there. And I like the under 9.5. Not a lot of games go over at GABP lately. So I like the under there. If we look at the splits, fairly even, right? Andrew Abbott's done really well against right-handed hitters, so I think the Reds should cruise today. All right, Twins, White Sox. We've got Chris Paddack coming back after an injury, so hasn't pitched since June 21st. Going up against Chris Flexen. 2 very, very, very similar pitchers here. There's a lot of similarities there. Twins bats have just been red hot, so I love the Twins to get it done. They had a nice walk-off win against Houston yesterday, which was pretty exciting. If you are on the White Sox, it is a sneaky White Sox spot, I'll be honest. I would say you can go White Sox +2 at -139. So that's a bit of a hedge. Or take the value at +150. Up to you. Those are kind of 2 options there. All right, Flexen did face the Twins on May 1st and had a decent day. It was at Minnesota. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. Now, White Sox bullpen wasn't great. They ended up losing that game 10-5. So What does scare me is Paddock has a 7.84 away ERA. He did face the White Sox at home on April 22nd, 7 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, 10 Ks. So absolutely dismantled them. But that's a long time ago. It's more towards the beginning of the season. So a little bit of concern with Paddock having not pitched for a couple of weeks. But I think he gets the job done today against the White Sox. I mean, it is the White Sox. The left-handed hitting scares me a little bit, right? 407 average from Paddock is a little scary. Flexen is pitching pretty well against righties, so um, there's you could make a case for sure for the White Sox here. And if we look at the projections, White Sox are winning this almost 51% of the time. So do with that what you will. I'm going to ride the hot bats of the Twins. They are the hottest hitting team in baseball over the past 2 weeks. It's not even close. Hitting 369 off of right-handed pitchers over the last week, 302 over the last 2 weeks. So I think if it comes down to a slugfest, the White Sox just won't be able to keep up. All right, next game, Rangers Angels. I just hate this game, to be honest. This is my least favorite game. Lean is towards the Angels. Davis Daniel had a pretty rough start last outing against Oakland. It was at Oakland. That said, his outing versus the Tigers at home was beautiful. Threw a shutout. So 5.1 innings, 7 hits for 4 earned runs, 2 home runs. The home runs are what killed Daniel. He actually pitched a pretty good game, except for the home runs. He gave up I think a 3-run home run and a solo. It might have been a 2-run homer and the one wasn't earned. I can't remember. Anyway, if we look at the splits here, so Daniel very good against left-handed hitters. Texas is going to have 6 left-handed hitters, so plays into his strengths. Conversely, Gray not so good against left-handed hitters, but the Angels are only going to have 3. So it really is. It's kind of an interesting game here. Projected score is quite high, which you can see with these 2 pitchers. But I like the Angels to get it done today, and heavy lean towards the over in this game. So that's kind of where I lean there. I mean, the Rangers have the hot bats, but if we look at the Angels, prior to this last series against the Cubs, they had back-to-back series at home, and they scored 5+ runs, I believe, in every game in that 2 home series they had. So I would lean towards them today, but again, this game, the Cleveland game, I don't love it. We got Braves Diamondbacks here. We got Chris Sale, who has just been red hot. He's given up 1 earned run in his last 4 starts. So, and that was 2 home, 2 away. So it wasn't like it was just heavily skewed towards the home. Sale did face Arizona on April 7th, 5.1 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. So earlier in the year, Sale did not have a good April. So I wouldn't read too much into this. His April was quite bad, actually. If we look at Yolber Diaz, he's going to be making his major league debut. This guy has some control issues, but he also has some electric strikeout stuff. So 22 innings pitched, he's had 28 Ks, but he's also had 9 walks. He's got a 1.23 whip. My concern, I think there's a heavy lean towards Braves, specifically first 5. Let's isolate Yolber Diaz and Chris Sale against each other. So I love taking the Braves first 5, minus 0.5. We played that yesterday. It hit with ease. I just love this spot for the Braves to get out here. Conversely, I could also see this being a weird Diamondback spot where you play like a run line. You get the plus 1.5 for minus 105. But I'm not trusting a rookie going up against Chris Sale. That's just too big of a disparity. And the ability to throw strikes is a concern for me with this Yolbert Diaz guy. There's been some control issues. They feel like they've got it figured out. This guy's going to be making his major league debut. So a guy that's already had control issues, got to imagine he's going to be pretty pumped up. Can he find the zone? The first inning will be very, very telling on kind of how this night goes. Projection a little off here. It's got the Braves just absolutely destroying them. I think we're factoring in a rookie here. It's a little off. I kept looking into it. It just keeps coming up the same way, right? So essentially it's simulating thousands of games, and it just has the Braves absolutely wrecking this guy through like the first 5 innings. They have him getting like 8 runs off this guy. So that's probably not accurate. The only thing that does concern me is the Diamondbacks are crushing left-handed pitchers, right? If we look over the past 14 days, past 7 days, they are blistering lefties. So could be a sneaky little spot where they get some runs off a Sale. But that said, I think the Braves return the favor and smack Diaz around a little bit as well. So look at it either way. Braves do have a significant bullpen advantage. They are actually number one right now. They overtook the Guardians. And if we look at the Diamondbacks bullpen, not in good shape. They are near dead last in the league. So significant advantage there. So I think we've got the starting pitcher advantage. We've got the bullpen advantage. Diamondbacks have the hitting advantage. That said, we've seen them go ice cold in a couple of home series over the past probably 4 weeks. So wouldn't shock me if they come out and the bats kind of go flat again, traveling back home. All right, so let's talk about our best bets. Got some strange ones in here that we haven't done yet. So the first one would be Mets Pirates race to 6 runs. So whichever team gets to 6 runs. In this case, we're choosing neither. So no team touches 6 runs. I think that's a good possibility. I like this bet a lot at plus money, so plus 105. I like Mets money line at plus 100. Right, I see this game. Hopefully, I kind of see it as like a 5-3 kind of game, maybe 5-4. So just don't see anybody touching 6. Cincinnati, Colorado under 9.5 at minus 120. And then kind of going back to that same race well, Cincinnati, Colorado race to 3 runs. We're going to go Cincinnati minus 125. So we're fading Feltner here and banking on the Reds to get 3 runs before the Rockies do. And then our last straight bet is going to be Braves first 5 minus half a run at minus 125. Our parlay is going to be Braves, Reds, Nats first 5. All of them, we're not taking the minus half a run. We're just doing straight up first 5s. Couple those 3 together, it's plus 348. And then we are doing the Twins, Braves, Reds money line at plus 272. And if you want the little fun parlay that we hit yesterday, this one's plus 710. It's going to be Braves, Twins, Reds, Mets, Guardians money line, all at plus 710. You can move over here. You can see kind of how I have the games ranked out. I just love the Braves. Like I said, you give me Sale going up against a rookie with control issues. It just feels very, very lopsided, especially with the massive bullpen advantage as well. I like the Twins to get it done today. Like I said, I think if it comes down to a slugfest, I'm taking the Twins all day. Reds, Nats, Mets, and then Cleveland and the Angels. Angels game, I'm not touching it really. I don't know which way that'll go, man. I don't really trust either pitcher. I like that Daniels throws strikes. He doesn't walk people. So that part makes me a little more comfortable. And he's got really good movement on his fastball. He doesn't throw it very hard. He's about 92 average, but he gets a ton of run on that fastball. So I really like that. All right, potential upsets. Could see the White Sox potentially beating the Twins. Cardinals in Washington, that's probably the biggest one to me, right? If Miles Mikolas has a day and they get to Mitchell Parker, which is definitely possible. Diamondbacks, Atlanta, not so worried about that one. And then Detroit and Cleveland, right? Maybe this Kiter kid has another great day and Gavin Williams gets hit all around the park again. So kind of really 2 games that I would key in on would be Detroit and Cleveland and Cardinals, Nats. All right, a couple props I like here. And we went, 6-1 yesterday. So Feltner under 5.5 Ks. Love this one. I don't think he gets there. Mikolas under 3.5 Ks. That's kind of a tight line for minus 140. But that kind of ties into our narrative that the Nats hit Mikolas early and often here. I like Mikolas under 1.5 base on balls. Same thing with Parker. Parker hasn't hit this yet. He hasn't hit this in his last 15 games. So the fact that it's minus 140 is very interesting. Mitch Keller under 18.5 outs. I really like that prop, minus 174. Andrew Abbott over 5.5 Ks at minus 150. And then if you have FanDuel, so this is it's 16.5 on DraftKings, but if you are on FanDuel, I love this Davis over 15.5 outs prop. I think this is probably one of my favorite ones. I just wish it was the same on DraftKings, but I think FanDuel is the only book that it's at 15.5 still. So I would snatch that up if it's still available to you. All right, so great day yesterday. Hopefully let's follow that up with another solid day here. Very, very small slate, kind of a weird one too. So if you are going at it today, good luck. And I will catch you guys in the next video. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel.